Our association is supportive of the extension of school bus services to the general public, but this support, however, is very much contingent on the retention of the two key features of the school bus program.
Being the primary purpose is to transport students to and from school, and also that students must be safe whilst travelling on school bus services.
Additionally, our organisations asked the committee to consider the request for an extension of the tech school arrangement for school buses for other school educational purposes and community groups.
I see on some of the notes here that you've made some recommendations around the safety, and I think it's something that we have to really, if we want to move forward, we have to make sure the parents come with us as well.
In keeping with what Andrew and Colin said, there's a number of measures that could be taken for the protection of our children if the public were to share the bus with students.
Cameras, I agree. Many schools nowadays have CCTVs, cameras throughout their schools for added safety and security of the school and the environment. In public transport, there are cameras, so there's a degree of logic in that.
If there were a structure in place to reserve seats, that absolutely they would need to be pre-booked. That certainly provide, and it would absolutely also be contingent upon availability of seats. Process in place, certainly to support families' concerns, would be ensuring that potentially a working with children check would be a part of that process.
The concept of supervision on buses, we would argue that it would need to be a purpose, a person of purpose who was solely there for supervision. It can't be the bus driver. Their role is to drive the bus. It could be possible to look for volunteers.
But I'd also add, in relation to the volunteers, from Parents Victoria's specific view, we are very mindful on the reliance on parent volunteers. So here's an opportunity, everyone, a government could turn their mind to around local employment. So giving some opportunities to people in those rural regional areas to take on those responsibilities as a whole community, holistic approach.
We've heard that the biggest safety risk to kids currently on school buses is other kids, bullying and physical violence. And it's been suggested that actually having adults on the bus will improve the safety of kids travelling.
Yes, you could potentially argue that an adult would make things safer, but we also know that not all adults are necessarily equipped to deal with young children or even teenagers who want to get up to mischief. I think if we had supervision on a bus, supervisors, regardless of their age, regardless of their employment category, they would need to have some form of training to help them deal with those situations.
We were getting to a point where we needed some sort of form of, app or something to get on the bus. Can we go down the QR path?
Look, the QR code obviously in theory should work, but unfortunately, because we're talking about rural and remote communities, there is going to be obviously certain coverage aspects, and I think some other submissions probably on the technological aspects of some of that stuff would be problematic.
On that note, I want to thank the three of you for a very informative session and public hearing.